Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew to like musical theater week by week and show by show. How are you doing today, Andrew?
I just got a birthday present from my wonderful girlfriend who definitely doesn't run like a mafia kind of joint, you know?
I mean, I met her and she doesn't give me that vibe.
But I did just see her like kill somebody out back. So, you know, I might go into witness protection anyways.
Oh no, who will host the podcast with me?
I don't know. I'm thinking we might have to get a group of nuns to help you.
Ooh, okay. Pitch me on Nunsicles with Cheese.
Okay, it's the same as Musicals with Cheese, but instead of there being one of me, you talk to an entire choir of nuns that don't know anything about the outside world.
Oh, and instead of introducing them to musicals, I introduce them to just basic shit. Like,
Yeah,
this
you're
is
just like,
soap.
This is what soap smells like. Man, I love that you just immediately went to saying that nuns probably smell bad.
What else is there? Well, no, they're holy. They're not vain, so why would they care about what they smell like?
That is true.
Yeah, so maybe watch your tone, Mr. I'm going to be in a nunnery for a bit.
Well, I'm not a nun. I'm just disguising as one so that my crazy mafia girlfriend doesn't kill me.
Well, we can always hope that you'll be fine, but also, I know your free-spirited mind won't keep you away from your music too long. You're going to have to turn them into a choir.
Dude, what the fuck are we talking about? Whoopi Goldberg?
I wish you were talking about Whoopi Goldberg. This week, per Patreon request from our favorite Joseph Evans Green, it is Sister Act, the musical. Cue the music.
Got me mind, soul, body, and all. Praying, I pray every night and each day, hoping that you'll drop a line. Praying, I pray till you sweep me away, straight to cloud number 9. You are simply too divine. Take me to heaven, take me to ecstasy. I'll give you all I've got, 'cause nothing's as hot as when you groove with me. And when you start your stuff and do your thing, I just can't help surrendering. You're so strong, you're so sweet, you're what makes me complete. I just worship at your feet.
Sister Act, the musical, was written by Sherry Steinkellner and Bill Steinkellner, with music and lyrics by Alan Menken and Glenn Slater, based on the characters and stories in Sister Act 1992. It opened in the West End at the London Palladium on June 2nd, 2009, following previews from May 7th. The production was directed by Peter Schneider and choreographed by Anthony Van Last, with set design by Klara Zieglerova, costumes by Les Brotherson, and lighting by Natasha Katz. It closed on October 30th, 2010. A newly revised adaptation of the show opened on Broadway at the Broadway Theater on April 20th, 420 Blaze It, 2011, after previews beginning March 24th, 2011. Jerry Zaks was the director, and he had previously worked with Alan Menken on his Little Shop of Horrors revival, with Douglas Carter Bean rewriting the book. Patina Miller, who originated the role of Dolores in the West End production, reprised the role on Broadway, making her Broadway debut and being in Pippin later, where she was much better. The show received multiple Tony Award nominations for the 2011 season, including Best Musical, Best Actress in a Musical for Patina Miller, Best Featured Actress in a Musical for Victoria Clark, and the production closed on August 26, 2012, after 28 previews and 561 performances. I'd also like to say that there was a lot of notable replacements for the lead, including Raven Simone as Dolores, and from the clips, she seemed like she really fit into the role. The plot of Sister Act is a woman hiding in a convent helps her fellow sisters find their voices as she rediscovers her own. This feel-good comedy smash is based on the hit film. All right, Andrew, do you have any history with Sister Act?
I've never even seen the movie. I'm sorry, everyone. I know you're all fans.
It's for free on Disney Plus. You have no excuse.
I don't have an excuse. I'm sorry.
You should feel bad. The movie's really good. I actually really think the Sister Act film is, both of them are pretty. The second one is a wholly different kind of beast, but I still enjoy it quite a bit.
A wholly different kind of beast?
Like, it's shockingly darker and about like a kid's choir and stuff like that. It's like the prelude to Glee in a lot of ways.
Oh.
where this one's like, hey, we'll get the nuns to sing. And won't it be funny? Because nuns are an objectively funny thing. Like, if you're in a comedy movie and you just see nuns walking by, it's hilarious. If you see Pee Wee Herman dressed as a nun, it's hilarious. Nuns are objectively a funny image.
I think nuns are funny because they're both, like, innocent, but also it's easy to spin them as, like, holier than thou. So you can do both kinds of comedy to them, you know?
They're mean and virtuous, which is a fun combination to play with.
Exactly. It's always fun to take them down a peg, and they dress silly. They look silly.
You are 100% right.
Did God ask you to dress like that?
God loves penguins, so we're trying to achieve that look. But what did you think of this?
Having no experience, I didn't actually know what Sister Act was about. To be honest, I guess I just thought that they were actually, like, she was actually a nun.
Whoopi was a nun.
I kind of did. I don't know. But regardless, it's fine. There were some fun songs. I like the concept of, like, she turns the nuns into, like, a rock choir. Like, I don't know. It was fun.
And it gets to take the uppity nun down a peg.
Yeah. The only real issues I have with it is that there's just, like, kind of a lot of filler songs. Like, there's, like, songs where they give a number to, like, the police officer character who just, it doesn't matter, you know, like, stuff like that.
Yeah. Or the bad guy. And, like, the villain song for Alan Menken, the guy that, like, wrote Hellfire. Come on.
Kind of flubbed the villain song a little bit. And also, the villain just kind of sucks. Like, it's just not a very interesting character or anything.
I was disappointed because I really liked the villain in the movie, Harvey Keitel, and they're hamming it up. And I just was not that impressed with what they had here.
That being said, though, this isn't like, I didn't really get bored watching it.
No, it's not a boring show. And for 2.5 hours, it kept my engagement throughout.
Yeah, like, it's fine. It's a pretty solid show, and that's about it.
But let's compare this to other movie adaptations. Back to the Future, like a movie musical adaptation. Why does this kind of work where Back to the Future just fell flat for both of us? And that's coming to Broadway, and that is also another West End start that transferred to Broadway.
I guess my initial thought would be, and this is coming from, I don't actually know.
Yeah.
But is Sister Act the movie kind of already musical?
Yes,
not
they
like
have
a musical, but it has like songs and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they're like cover songs. Like, what is it? I love it, wherever he will. But like, my God.
Nothing you could say could tear me away from my God. My God. Nothing you could do, 'cause I'm stuck like glue to my God. My God. My God.
They do stuff like that. And so you have that opening for music there.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, whereas Back to the Future, there's like one scene where there's any music and that would actually work in a musical, and everything else, they're just kind of trying to put music in where it doesn't really make sense. So it kind of feels like it works a little better here.
It feels more integrated too, and especially like, I feel like the emotions are big in a way that Sing, in a way that most other musical adaptations don't have that.
Back to the Future, like as the example, the characters don't really have big feelings to sing about. It's more just like, oh shit, I'm stuck in the past, I need to get back.
That's about problem solving more about rather than internal like trauma.
Which is it's a totally fine plot for a movie, but like as a musical, it doesn't really speak to making it a musical, you know?
And that's not to say like Alan Menken is a king of making a musical moment. He's done it for a lot of the Disney films. He did it for Newsies. He is very good at taking a plot point and making it sing, which is a thing that you don't realize you need until you see it done badly. Like Tootsie or Mrs. Doubtfire or other 90s movies that are adapted into modern musicals.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
I forgot that existed.
They really have been doing a lot of these 90s movies into musicals, haven't they?
Yeah, and I feel
Sister
like...
Act, though, this was a while ago. This came out in
2011. I think
2009?
It was 2009. 2011 is when it came to Broadway. I think it was the Book of Mormon year.
Which, yeah, I mean, that was a while ago.
It's not terrible. Like, it's just a good night at the theater. It is what we all expect, from one of those Broadway shows or West End shows specifically, because we do talk a lot about West End shows and what makes them different than Broadway shows and what West End critics are looking for in comparison to Broadway critics.
I think I would compare it kind of like Beetlejuice in a way, where it's like just a very competent, but it doesn't. The reason it doesn't give as much of an impression as Beetlejuice is because it doesn't have the wow factor.
Yeah,
there's nothing. It's the sets are kind of boring. They don't do anything wild with choreography or anything like that.
The wow factor is the stunt casting that they would later fill in.
It's kind of like in the vein of that, where it works and it's solid, but it doesn't have the thing that pushes it over the edge into being like a must-see.
Yeah. What'd you think of the lead performances, specifically the main character, Dolores?
I don't actually know which version did I watch. Was it the Broadway or the West End?
You watched the West End version.
Okay. I mean, regardless, I think the performance was really good. I don't think she was bad at all.
No, in fact, I'd say the entire show rests on their shoulders.
Yeah, kinda. Like in fact, there was other not performances that were weak, but there's other characters that are just kind of like not doing that much, and she the energy that she brings to every scene kind of keeps you awake, keeps you going.
I completely understand that. I feel like outside of like a few powerhouse songs, the songs don't really stick with you either, which is surprising considering it's Alan Menken.
I don't want to say the songs are bad or anything. It's a lot of them are kind of samey. They have this gospel feel to them. And there's a part in particular near the end of like Act 1 where it's just like, it just feels like we've been listening to the same gospel song for like 10 minutes. And it's just like, all right, get on with it.
I don't want to jump into previews, but Charles Isherwood did write a review of this on opening night. And he did say, I wish I could report that the singing nuns from the Church of Philly Soul are giving those pesky Mormons in Africa a run for their money in the unholy hilarity department. But when the jubilant choir numbers subside, as inevitably they must, Sister Act slumps back into bland musical theater grooves and mostly lacks the light of invigorating inspiration, which is fair.
Yeah. Which, again, it's not that this is like a bad show or anything. It's a show that is lacking in the wow factor, and it doesn't have the big choices and the big I don't even know what you would say. It's just like it doesn't have anything bold that like sticks with you.
It's entertainment. It's for your parents.
Yeah. But this is like a totally serviceable show for tourists that go to Broadway. And it's absolutely good for that. And I'm not gonna even say like it's not like a Tootsie or something like that where it's like, damn, this kind of sucked. It's like, no, this is like, it works. It's fine.
And I think the show really lived its life in the community theaters. I see so many community theaters put this on. It's a show with a lot of female characters. Like, I feel like there's less males than females, which is very rare.
By a good number, I would say.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
You can basically cast as many nuns as you want. Like, you literally, like, there's not really a limit, like, as far as that goes.
But there are things I appreciate about this stage show that I think did better than the movie, actually. Including, like, I feel like the stage show has a little bit more edge. I feel like the movie was trying to appease every demographic, and therefore it comes off a little bit more general. Where here, people are swearing, Jesus Christ, all that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject, and I could see why a Broadway show would be more willing to,
take a
offend,
swing.
Whereas, a movie from the 90s probably doesn't want to offend the entire, like, Catholic audience.
Yeah, I don't want to offend the Catholics. But now that I brought up the movie, I do want to talk about some wild facts from it. I think this is one of the wildest facts. So the film was not written for Whoopi Goldberg in mind. In fact, it was written for Bette Midler originally.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been a very different movie.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been as good, but like at least Bette Midler is known for her singing, so I kind of get the mindset, get the premise of a singing nun, That draft was written by a guy named Paul Rudnick. However, By the time Whoopi Goldberg came in and the script variations came in, and like a couple, the most recent drafts were rewritten by Carrie Fisher, fun fact, famous script doctor, Rudnick did not see his original product in it enough, and in fact asked for his name to be removed, and he suggested names that he would rather be credited as, including R. Chasuble, and then that got rejected, and then he said screenplay by Goofy, which was also a no-go. And finally, he pitched Joseph Howard, which was accepted because it sounded like the name of someone who helped found the Mormon church.
Maybe I don't understand. Why would you not want your name on it, even if it was rewritten a lot? Like,
I don't know.
Is there a reason?
I mean, some people are just embarrassed. Like, Sister Act is such an unoffensive movie.
Ironically, since it is about nuns, you would think it'd be offensive, but
no, it's not a raunchy movie. It's like a film about Whoopi Goldberg and witness protection making jokes with nuns. Come on, it's a good time.
It's weird that he wouldn't want his name on it.
And Disney and Sony Pictures, which released the movie, were sued twice for plagiarism for Sister Act. A $20 million lawsuit was filed against Whoopi Goldberg, Bette Midler, Walt Disney Pictures, and more by Donna Douglas in 1993, who was known for playing Ellie Mae Clampett in the sitcom The Beverly Hillbillies and had proposed a deal for a book entitled A Nun in the Closet, which they adapted into a screenplay and submitted to the film studio. The film was shot down before the film called Sister Act was greenlit. Douglas refused to settle out of court with Disney for $1 million and later ended up losing her case and after the judge ruled in favor of Disney.
You gotta take the $1 million. What are you doing?
But also they were sued by a real nun who apparently wrote down a lot of these similar cases in her autobiography that they took wholesale, and that was another lawsuit.
I almost feel like these are lawsuits that probably aren't even justified. Like, do you really think that they took stuff to make a singing nun movie from real sources? Like,
I mean, her book was called The Harlem Street Nun.
Maybe then. It does actually. Okay. I thought it would be more just like, I'm a nun and I did singing. You stole it for the movie. But maybe not.
So the lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice, awarding no damages to Blakely, who was the nun. So, man, you can't fight the mouse.
You really can't. And honestly, if you ever do sue the mouse and they offer you $1 million at a court, you just take it. You're not going to win. You're not going to win the court case.
Exactly. Be lucky you're getting any money. The movie was a box office success. It sat in the number 2 spot for weeks, becoming the 8th highest grossing film worldwide of 1992 behind Lethal Weapon 3, Patriot Games, and Batman Returns.
Dang, we just talked about that.
We did. 1992, what a year. The 90s, what a year for cinema.
The 90s. Classic cinema.
There was more good than bad, I'd say.
You got Scream 2, Scream 6 is coming out this year.
Scream 6 just came out like 2 weeks ago, dude.
Just came out. It's already out. I didn't even know that.
I hear it's good. Are you ready for Breview's Letterboxd game, where I pull up actual Letterboxd reviews from Letterboxd.com and read them to Andrew, and Andrew has to guess based just on the review alone whether it was a 1-star review or a 5-star review. Are you ready, Andrew?
I am ready.
Okay, first review. I'm bummed that the poster on Letterboxd is missing the giant Whoopi background.
The what now? The giant Whoopi background?
Yeah, where it's Whoopi Goldberg in front of her own name, and that was the full poster.
That's the entire. Okay.
I don't even think it had
Whoopi
Sister
Goldberg.
Act 2. It just had her in the nun's outfit and it said Whoopi.
What's that dinosaur movie with Whoopi Goldberg?
Theodore Rex.
It's a tale you'll never forget.
I love when he does that.
Yeah, Theodore Rex.
1-star or 5-star?
That was a 5-star. They love the movie so much.
Nope, that is a 1.
You gotta be fucking. You're rating the movie. You're not rating the fucking Letterboxd image. Jesus Christ.
You might ask yourself, why did Drew watch Sister Act? And to answer your question, well, what was I supposed to do? Watch Sister Act 2 blind? Please.
Okay. 5 stars.
That is a 1-star.
Jesus Christ, these people hate the movie.
What's next? Okay, this was better than the first. Was Lauryn Hill too?
5 stars?
That is a
They
1
liked
star.
It. Oh my God. Just where the fuck do you find these? Honestly.
Letterboxd.com.
How do you write a review where the only thing you say is positive and then you rate the movie the lowest possible score?
It is very confusing. I am not disagreeing with you there. Next one. We can't just leave it to the feds. 5 exclamation points.
We can't. That's a quote, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it every single time and been wrong, but 5 stars. They're
That
quoting
is
the movie.
correct.
Okay. Holy shit. You throw rock enough times, you're going to get it, right?
I watched this in my French religion class, and I don't think I understood a single word that was said.
Yeah, because you were watching it in fucking French. 1 star. They didn't even understand the movie.
Yep. All right, next one. A truly inspirational documentary.
5 stars.
That is a 1 star.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
It's not a documentary. It was sarcasm.
I know it was sarcasm, but I figured they still liked it. Oh my God.
If Glee and Dangerous Minds had a child, Sister Act 2 would be this offspring.
Glee is bad. I don't know what Dangerous Mind is.
I don't either.
We're going to go with 1. I'm going to go with 1.
That is correct.
Glee mention. Glee mention 1 star.
My sister asked me if this was Christian Glee.
Glee mention 1 star.
All right, that is correct. And last one.
Yes! It's always right. Glee. If Glee's mentioned, it's 1 star.
Sometimes. That is not a rule, but it is often true. When the meek little girl sings out loud, it's a little much. Like, oh my God, I can sing? What? Crazy angel emoji.
5 stars.
That is a 1 star. And that concludes Reviews and a very unfortunate game for Andrew.
80% of those were 1 stars.
They were.
Where did you find all of these?
Letterboxd.com, sir.
I thought people liked Sister Act.
They do, but the 5-star reviews weren't interesting. All right. How about we go into a mid-show? Hey guys, sorry to interrupt you in the middle of the show, but we've got a shill at you. Today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donation by our donors over at Patreon, and Patreon is this beautiful place where you can come and give us a little bit of money and we'll give you a little bit of content. And when our content is currently doing all the Rugrats movies, we're covering them as full commentaries, and after that, I hear Schmigadoon's coming back, so maybe we should cover the first season, Andrew. That'll be fun, right? It's on Apple TV. Could be a good time. No promises, but it would be a nice thing to do. Also, we just got a whole bunch in our backlog, and we've got our Patreon meetups, which are going to be happening once a month, a little more consistently. Last month, we had Alan Seals and Grace Aki join us, so you could join us as well and meet all of our friends.
We had a good time.
We did. We talked Broadway trade secrets. We did, though. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. That actually happened. You learned some things about how the sausage got made there. But our current patrons are Melissa Goldman, Danielle Renix, Jess the Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Monica Thoreau, Brent Black, Nathaniel Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Mary Lou Choquette, John Vanals, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, Kyle Summers, Jen A.C., Scoot and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Liz Lim, Nothing is Certain Except Beth and Taxes, Thesby and Ren Cullen, Rafael Martinez Salaz, Jessica T, Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, Katie McDonough, Chris Marcotte, Kiji Marie Anastasio, Trevi Joseph, Layla, RJ Narija, Charlie B, Bjorn Hermans, Toriana Frazier, Sammy The Most, Lopez, Liana Morton, Kaylee Blazier, Cinemageddon Reviews, Villainous Miss, Sophiana Ali, The Omega Geek, Paige Pearson, Maddie Wargle, Elisa Erdman, Anna Loskatova, Cheska Varay, Sarah Den Blekier, Evan Bald, Zachary Torres, Gathering Party Before Venturing Forth, Rora Marasso, Mara Forloin, Captain Rod Tastic, Lisa L, Sarah Walsh, Nobody, Renee Thomas, and they give us all a little financial support that helps us keep the lights on here, Musical So Cheese. If you would like to join them in supporting us and get all that stuff, plus you could even request an episode like Joseph Evans Green did, come join us over at Patreon. All right, Andrew, you ready to get back to the show?
I'm ready. Let's get to it.
What do you think of the opening number, Take Me to Heaven, which is, it means 2 things.
Let's light it up, Philadelphia. I've been thinking about you since receiving your call. Can't see living without you. You've got me mind, soul, body, and all. Praying, I pray every night and each day, hoping that you'll drop a line. Praying, I pray till you sweep me away, straight to cloud number 9. You are simply too divine. Take me to heaven, take me to ecstasy. I'll give you all I've got, 'cause nothing's as hot as when you groove with me. And when you strut your stuff and do your thing, I just can't help surrendering. You're so strong, you're so sweet, you're what makes me complete. I just worship at your feet. Take me to heaven, take me to kingdom come. I'll take any vow, just take me now.
This is one of the few numbers that I can actually kind of remember. Like, stuck with me.
I love their
Take me to
costumes.
heaven. Right, that's it, right?
Oh yeah. Visually, it's a striking intro to Dolores, especially in comparison to the nuns that we introduced first.
Yeah, it's a very fun number. I mean, a lot of the songs in here are very fun and like dancey though.
They're
So-
designed to be fun. They're designed to get your mom's heart racing again, you know, make her feel something.
Look, you're trying to frame this as if this is a wine mom show. Are you?
It is.
Are you trying to say?
Every West End musical is a wine mom show.
Are you trying to say Britain is just full of people who are wine moms and they go to see shows with David Hasselhoff?
Can't you see it? Oh, no.
It's either that or they're seeing Mamma Mia.
Here we go again.
My. I do like this opening.
I had some fun with it. Honestly, I had higher hopes from this opening than what we actually ended up getting with the rest of the show.
Not
but-
that anything else is bad. It's just like, you know, oh, that's all. Like, this is a high, and then we stay at that high, and we don't go lower, but that's all we got.
I don't know. I think we do get a bit lower than this, but
Like, what do you mean? Trying to remember what song, like, could be it.
oh, what's that song that the police officer sings?
Is it I Could Be That Guy?
I think it might be I Could Be That Guy.
Picture a guy, a knight in rhinestone armor, gleam in his eye, a zillion-watt smile, sharp dress, moves that get him staring, a turner of heads, cool beyond comparing, bringing the pride with a spring in his stride and a fistful of style. And I could be that guy. I could be the cock of the walk and the talk of the town, leading the pack when the action goes down. Yeah, I'll betcha I could set the world astir if I ever let myself try. Well, I could be that guy.
It's the cop from
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
There we are. He shot a kid, so now he's not allowed to have a gun.
I love the conclusion of Die Hard where the cop's arc is completed by him learning how to murder again. He's like, I killed a kid and I fucked myself up, but now I can kill again.
I've never seen Die Hard, but I do know all the Die Hard memes.
You've never seen Die Hard?
I have not seen Die Hard.
I think it's worth watching.
I'm sure
I'm
it
surprised
is.
no one's ever made you watch it for like Christmas or something.
No, we're a big Christmas Story family.
Well, yeah, Christmas Story is great, but like, I feel like Die Hard kind of gained a lot of popularity. Okay, well, this is a song by the Die Hard cop. So
He's not literally the Die Hard cop, but he might as well be.
yeah, it's just, why is this even here? Why does the cop even have a song?
I mean, you can't have an actor have that much stage time and not give him a song.
Yeah, but it's
The
just so
thing is, they're
pointless.
playing it sincerely when he should have a comedy number.
Yeah, for real. He what is his arc really?
He
I can't even.
did something bad, so he got his gun taken away. Then he does something good. He's allowed to fire a gun and kill the bad guy at the end.
They literally just take it from Die Hard. It's just the Die Hard one.
He has the Die Hard arc.
Oh my god, it's just the Die Hard arc. Yeah, and then this song is I Want to Be the Guy.
Who can fire a gun again? I want to fire on the masses.
So, not great.
That is a low point. What about the bad guy song? When I find my baby, and he's just like, I'm gonna do all these things, but then I'm gonna kill her.
I know the way that she thinks. I know her habits and kinks. I know the stuff that she's all about. I know the people she knows and all the places she goes. I know her up, down, inside out. I know the needs that she's got. I know what gets the girl hot. I know I've got the inside track. And yeah, I know she's upset, won't let her play hard to get. Cause if I know one thing, I'm getting her back. Because I know that girl, I feel that girl, I understand that girl. And if I want that girl, I'm gonna get that girl. Ain't gonna let that girl get away, no way. And when I find that girl, I'm gonna kill that girl. I'm gonna wham, bam, blam, and drill that girl. Won't rest until that girl is safe and sound 6 feet below. No.
I remember watching this song and thinking, oh dang, this is gonna get good, right? Like this is like the villain number, like it's gonna like pick up, it's gonna like really get good, and then it just doesn't. It just never does. Like it's kind of okay,
Yeah.
and like it's got like the kind of dark, like funny sort of humor to it, where it's like, oh, when he finds her, but then it just never goes anywhere. It never does anything with it, and then it just ends.
Yeah. Sincerely, as far as villain songs go, D-.
And I feel like the villain in this is in it so little that you need. And I think what you need to do with a villain like this is really emphasize the time you do have with the villain. Lean in hard and like make him memorable, even though he's in only like 2 or 3 scenes.
The thing is, in the movie, they do that by having Harvey Keitel, one of the most recognizable fucking faces in the world, in that role.
Yeah, whereas here, what you needed to do was have this be one of the most over-the-top evil numbers you could possibly do, and they just swing and a miss.
Hard agree. Really, this is kind of, it's a real disappointing one. I wish I could say, like, I love but most of the songs in the second act kind of blow. There is the song that from the main nun that I really liked.
Yeah, within these walls, days are filled with grace. God is in his place, his wisdom still respected. Here within these walls, life has a different pace from life beyond our doors. And for what it's worth, this life's now yours. Outside, all is vice. People now are absolutely shameless, most including those who shall be nameless, hardly seem to know or even care. Outside, all is sin, and I won't have the outside coming in. Trust me, it's a battle you won't win. Frankly, dear, you haven't got a prayer.
I do like that song both times. Like that feels more like a villain song than the villain song.
Well, and really, she's more like the villain than the actual villain, because one thing that this show is sort of lacking, and it's partially because the villain is so forgettable and he doesn't have a good memorable number, is there's not very much tension. Like it doesn't really feel like there's an active threat at any real point.
I mean, we do see like an actual murder in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, but it's almost played as a laugh, like for laughs. So the real active threat is more Mother Superior trying to like shut down everything that Dolores is doing. So that's probably why this feels more like a real villain song.
I like her. I actually like the Mother Superior in both versions. In the movie, she's played by Maggie Smith, and she's delightfully like prissy. And they replicate that well with a much younger actress than Victoria Clark on stage.
The second act of this show does the thing where almost every song is just a reprise.
Yeah.
The only new songs we get is what's that character? Mary? Is it Sister Mary?
Sister Mary Robert. The Life I Never Led, where she's rethinking about being a nun, which that does not happen in the movie. This is actually a very big thing. No nun has even a moment of crisis of faith. Every one of them is like, I'm happy being a nun. This is a great thing because we need nuns' endorsement of the Catholic Church to make this movie. Here, yes. I thought that was interesting. And they also removed like the shy nun and kind of mixed her and Mary Robert together, which is the Kathy to Jimmy Numb.
Yeah. Which it's good because this is like the main thing that keeps Act 2 from being a complete slog.
Yeah.
Is they add this character element and make it like, oh, okay, there's like actually
tension.
Something here. Yeah. So The Life I Never Led, that's a pretty good number to like just kind of keep things going.
I've never talked back. I've never slept late. I've never sat down when told to stand straight. I've never let go and gone with the flow, and don't even know really why. I've never asked questions or taken a dare. I've never worn clothes that might make people stare. I've never rebelled or stood up and yelled, or even just held my head high. And all of the feelings unspoken, all of the truths unsaid, they're all I have left of the life I never led.
It's a great number, and it's like pathos in a very, cynical musical in a weird way. Like this musical, despite being upbeat, does not feel very sincere.
I think I need a little more explanation. What do you mean?
At any point, I feel like this musical is making fun of nuns and Christianity, and I feel like their enthusiasm for their faith is like kind of a joke, whereas in the movie, it is part of their characterization.
I could see that. This does play a bit more like a satire than probably the movie does, although I've never seen the movie, but I would guess the movie is treads a little lighter. Though I wouldn't go so far as to say that this is like an outright satire of like nuns. Like I think that they're still very much like saying that the nuns are good, and I mean, doesn't she join the nuns near the end, or like she works with them
she's
more?
still hanging out with them. They wear sparkly uniforms.
So I don't know. It's not like, it's more like everyone is changing each other's minds on certain things,
You know what? That's fair. The sad part is I don't have much to say about nuns.
They're just, and this is comes the problem with talking about shows like this, is there's not that much more to say. Like,
it does all the things it does. Well, I think there is one thing I would like to do. Considering this is an Alan Menken piece, why don't we rank all of his Alan Menken musicals? Why don't you start a tier list? Yeah, all the Alan Menken musicals that we've covered.
Sure. How many have we covered?
A lot.
You're gonna have to help me.
I will list them off, and you just write your tier list. All right?
Okay. Well, I'll explain the tier list because we haven't.
Yeah.
Maybe this is your first episode. I hope it's not. This would be a bad first episode, but sorry.
Yeah, this is like the worst first episode. Go listen to Hamilton like a normal person.
It's probably not very many people's first episode. Okay, but we do A, B, C, and D. A is the best. D is the worst. We are ranking it on a scale based on the other shows in that scale. It's not an objective like this is A being like the greatest musical ever written or anything like that.
It's only within each other.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you go.
All right, you ready for the first one? I'm gonna list them chronologically.
Okay.
Kurt Vonnegut's "God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater," which we did with Sideways.
Oh, I have fond memories of this one. I feel
really
like this
that
one was good. I don't know if I put it in A tier though. I think I need to see I'm going to stick it in B right now.
Yeah, let's see where the others fit.
And we'll see where the others fit, because this one might get moved up. We're going to say Rose Water.
Next, Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors is A for sure.
Yeah.
Little Shop in A, easy.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast also A. I mean, we're counting the movie in this as well.
Yeah.
Also A tier.
A Christmas Carol, specifically the one starring Kelsey Grammer that we talked about.
Which one is this? Like, what's a song I would remember from this one? Because we've talked about multiple Christmas carols.
We have, listen to the rhythm of the voices of the shadows of the people that you never tried to say.
I think I'm going to put this in C.
Yeah, that's about right. Then we have The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
The movie or the Broadway adaptation, or
Either.
just both. Yeah, Hunchback's A. Hunchback is really good.
The Little Mermaid.
I want to put Little Mermaid in B. Not because it's like necessarily worse than these other Disney ones, but I don't have much of a connection to it, and I don't remember it as fondly as like Beauty and the Beast or Hunchback.
No, that's fine. Then you also have Tangled.
I want to put it in A, but I feel like that's not fair. I don't think it deserves it. I'm gonna put it in B.
All right. Home on the Range.
Home on the Range. Do I give it the honorary C tier, or do we put it where it actually belongs? Home on the Range has to go in D. I'm sorry. I do love the yodeling song though.
We did cover a couple episodes of Gallivant on Patreon. Do you want to count that?
Yeah, I think Gallivant varies episode to episode, but I think I'm going to put what I've watched in C.
All right. And Sister Act.
Sister Act, I think, also goes in C. Now, I want to preface this. I think a lot of this is because this is a stacked list. You know, like Little Shop and Beauty and the Beast and Hunchback in A tier, and then Little Mermaid and Tangled in B tier. Like, it's rough. That's a rough list. That's a tough.
Yeah.
Those are tough acts to follow, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think I have to put Sister Act in C. I just didn't. I'm not going to remember it like a week from now.
So, your total list, top to bottom: Little Shop of Horrors, Beauty and the Beast, Hunchback of Notre Dame, God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater, Little Mermaid, Tangled, Gallivant, Christmas Carol, Sister Act, Home on the Range.
Yeah, and Sister Act maybe goes above Christmas Carol and Gallivant. I'm not actually sure. Not really ordered within the tiers here, you know?
Now, we do have a couple left that we will be talking about eventually, like Newsies and A Bronx Tale and Hercules and Aladdin. Like, we're not quite at the end of the list.
These are, like, he's done a lot of great stuff. Like,
he is no longer allowed to be nominated for Oscars. He's done so much.
Yeah.
Which is why Disney doesn't hire him anymore.
The funny thing is, like, even the worst thing on this list, the Home on the Range down in D, I still like enjoy that.
Yeah.
So this tier list by no means is like I don't enjoy one of these or something like that.
It's just you're ranking against itself, and he's done some of the best musical work in history.
Yeah, and some of, like, if you're making a list, some of it has to be below others, and that's really just how it goes.
I think that's fair. On that note, what is your overall thoughts on Sister Act the musical and your cheese rating?
I think Sister Act is a serviceable musical, and if you really enjoy the movie, you'll probably like the musical. But that being said, it doesn't bring that much like new or great to the table that like solidifies it as something that I'm going to want to revisit. It's something that I sort of passively enjoyed and will probably forget about. I looked up cheese for nuns just to see like if there's like a certain type of cheese that nuns eat, but I didn't really find anything. But I did find this cheese nun article about a nun that makes cheese.
You know what? That's your cheese rating. I think that's a perfect cheese rating.
Yeah, we'll go with cheese nun, which isn't a type of cheese, but it is cheese made by Mother Noella, who makes cheese, I guess.
I think that's a great cheese rating. I also have similar feelings to you, and I hate to jump off this where it's like it kind of washed over me rather than me actively engaging with this show. But I'm going to give this an anecdotal cheese. I tried this cheese recently, and it left me feeling the same way, where I got real excited because, it sounds like all things I'd like. And then I ate it, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to eat the rest of this. And that was Great Midwest Mango Fire Cheddar Cheese because it sounded so good. And then I ate it, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't very good.
Well, you can't win them all.
You can't.
Sister
But you know who
Act,
definitely can?
Our patrons.
Our patrons win it
Easy.
all every week. Thank you guys for listening. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher at Musicals with Cheese. We're on Twitter at Cheesy Musical, Patreon Musicals Cheese, Instagram Musicals Cheese, YouTube page Musicals Cheese, Patreon only podcast, Patreon with Cheese. Check it out. Email us at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. Wait, I'm going to take it. This is for you, Juliet. Enjoy the ASMR. I had to take it off for that one. Our show is edited by Andrew DeWolf, and he's doing a fantastic job. I'm sure he'll throw memes in this one. If not, it's still probably a good episode. Our theme songs are created by Robyn, Nash of IOU Music UK. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform. All right. We'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese.
Take me to heaven.